Hello, and welcome back to Mafia City RP. So today, as you can tell from the title, we're going to be attending a press conference hosted by the Los Santos PD. Now, I'm pretty sure the main reason for this, hopefully, is going to be because of our protest. And also because of the stuff that happened at the car show, which again I was talking about a little bit, with the SWAT and all of that crazy stuff that went on. So hopefully if you guys watch the protest video at the end of it, they actually announced that they were going to be doing this press conference. I'll put the flyer up on screen now for it. I believe there's going to be 3 speakers. I think it's going to be Chief Cross, as well as Trustin, or however you say it, and then one other speaker. But we're going to go head over to that, starting in about 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure we can get in a little early and get some good seats, hopefully. Hopefully it's going to be interesting. The main 2 questions I think that we have to ask is just going to be mostly, obviously one that's a little bit more pertinent to this is going to be about the car shows. What are they going to be doing going forwards with the car shows? How are they going to be handling it? And how are they going to be handling events in general? Again, if that's not answered in the press conference itself. And then the second question is going to be how are they going to be handling these recent stabbings at the pier? Because recently there's been a lot of stabbings at the pier. In my opinion, I think they should have like a cadet or a training officer down there like 24/7 at least, because a lot of shit does happen at the pier. But either way, we're going to go head over to the press conference now, see what's going on. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully we can get a good seat before everyone arrives, and I will see you in just a little bit. Alright, we are here. We just got to get searched real quick, I think.
Oh my god, how you doing, sir?
How's it going, Daryl?
Are you here for the press conference?
Yep. You guys got to search, right? Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I know the
thorough
drill.
pat down. Especially after all that noise you created, you know?
A whole peaceful, for the most part.
Other than the bomb threat, yeah, it was pretty
Hey,
peaceful.
not my fault.
True, no, it's not your fault. I'm just saying, you know, it was a fucking bomb, Zez.
Hey, it was a fake bomb I heard, man. I heard it was not even a real bomb. I heard it wasn't even a bomb.
Look. My penis turtled up into my body. I was so scared.
Mine too, mate. I ran away.
Okay, you're all good. No
All
mask
right.
to be worn inside says, you understand?
I don't even own one.
Let's go.
Should be good, though.
Hopefully.
Do you know if there's going to be a Q&A as well, or is it just going to be a conference?
Probably a Q&A.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Remember all that leniency I used to give you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Changed after fucking the protests as...
Listen, it was a peaceful protest. It's
fucking
nothing
pissed me off.
personal.
Got people fucking spitting, people pushing,
It's not my fault, mate.
people telling me I'm a fucking pig. All because of you, says.
I don't believe it's just because of me.
You started the protest, right?
Yeah, the protest, which was completely legal, and the best way to show our support.
I didn't say it was illegal.
Yeah,
But
but I feel like
speeding
it's the
is
most
something we call
peaceful
breaking
thing.
the law.
Yeah, that's why I don't speed.
Yeah, show
Find
me
that hard to believe,
ID
says.
and registrations.
Oh
I'll
jeez,
be
it's
back
packed
with
in
more
here.
people.
There you go.
Alright, hopefully some other people show up soon, but this should be pretty good. Again, it's not starting for like another 10 minutes, but I will come back to when the press conference is starting. Hopefully, it's gonna be good.
He might die from embarrassment if he stands in this room any
Just holding
longer.
the door for you, man.
Why is
Oh,
that guy
Joe's
wearing
so
sunglasses? He's in the fucking building, he's wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, it's on. Go ahead. You're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the public and press, my name is James Hazel. I'm the commanding officer of the Public Relations Division. Next to me is Assistant Chief Matt Trustin. First of all, I'd like to welcome all of you to this press conference. The last couple of days have seen a strain on the relationship between the police department and the community of Los Santos. We're happy that you've exercised your rights to assemble peacefully. We're working hard to improve these agitations to the community. Hence why we are hosting this press conference today. On Saturday the 25th of April 2020, an off-duty police officer was hit by a motorcycle at the Ron's gas station on Route 68. This assault with a deadly weapon was responded by a discharge of the officer's firearm. This incident is currently being investigated by the Internal Affairs Group. Later that day, police officers responded to a panic alert at Ron's gas station on Route 68. Due to how panic alerts are handled, a SWAT team was deployed to respond. As officers arrived on scene, event-goers were uncooperative and partially hostile towards officers. Soon after arrival, the SWAT team received orders to move through the gas station. However, the vehicle was blocked and partially attacked and damaged. It was after the event-goers were ordered to move away from the vehicle when the driver inched towards them and slightly hit them with the vehicle. This is, of course, unacceptable behavior and is currently under investigation. We can assure you that we are looking into these incidents and will be dealing with them in a swift and just manner. Furthermore, we are currently working together with the City Council, event organizers, and the Department of Justice to resolve these issues. We'll be now answering questions.
Unfortunately, we have really shit luck, and he's invisible
Why is
for us.
undercover there?
So that kind of sucks.
You need to yell, please, because otherwise I
But
can't hear
He's
you.
literally the only
Step
person
forward just in front
invisible.
of
We
him,
just had
Steve.
really shit luck with that, I think.
Why is
But-
undercover there?
He's invisible for us.
The reason why an undercover officer was at the event is currently due to a police investigation. We cannot share more information regarding that. Next question.
So what's the point of the press conference?
Miss Jumper, you're gonna need to raise your voice or,
Oh, sorry, I was just making an
Kick off
offhanded comment about you. It's fine, don't worry, I was just making an offhanded comment to Steve, that's all.
So what are
Why
your
are-
guys' plans as the approaching events, if they were to be started again? What is your plans for how you're going to be monitoring? I know there's been
Well, there's
some
one of
kind
our
threats
questions,
from
thankfully.
some officers as far as running plates and kind of hassling as event goers are gathering and assembling. What's kind of your guys' approach? What's your view, and how are you going to handle future events if they continue to exist?
The police department is currently working together with event organizers to answer these questions. Of course, these events are a pillar of the community, and we are not actively trying to harass any events. We'll be trying to maintain public and security at these events and make sure that those incidents don't happen anymore in the future.
So in the future, you'll be working with the host events to secure security with any events that happen in the future. So in the future, instead of going out by ourselves, will y'all work with host events to secure security for any future events that they will hold?
In the future, we'll be working together with these event organizers. We'll be trying to open up a line of communication, and we'll be trying to be more transparent as to ongoing operations and police presence at events. The problem is that we cannot disclose any police investigation.
If PD truly deems it necessary to stick out these events, then why only now? Why so sudden?
The police doesn't stake out events in a sense as
Well-
in to harass them. As events are areas with a high quantity of citizens, will need to have a high quantity of police presence there to deter crime.
Yes,
that what
but
happened?
police were sticking out as from what I hear, is they were stalking out Zez's private property.
Could you please elaborate a bit on staking out?
I hear that there were two cruisers outside of the event checking plates.
Right.
Like police should. Is it not by law that they have to declare their presence
Regarding that,
beforehand?
that would fall under the general patrol of officers that is being supervised by their patrol supervisors. Scanning plates at random is neither a breach of the penal code nor of our protocol.
Yeah, but it's not that random, you know. They sit outside the building because they know there's going to be a concentration of people there. You know, should the police not announce that before?
The police generally, when they conduct operations, does not disclose that to the public for tactical purposes as well.
When does private property rights start and police stop? When aren't we allowed to do things or have events on our own private property without being observed or basically harassed. This is like third world country stuff here.
Well, that would be a good question for the Department of Justice, as that
Why are
would
we here? What the
entail the
fuck?
Penal Code and also the Constitution of Los Santos.
Will the knowledge of the 4 officers in the SWAT vehicle that did push forward against people be known to the public? And their punishments revealed as well?
As per departmental procedures, if a officer is on SWAT deployment, they are not required to give their identity, only their badge number. So we will not be disclosing any information regarding their person.
Badge number
Furthermore,
that wasn't provided.
excuse me, could I please finish? Furthermore, punishments will not be disclosed. However, there will be a statement whether or not a punishment was handed out or not.
So if these officers will not give us their badge number and you will not tell us it and you also not tell us what the punishment is, how do we know these officers are punished and not just simply moved around and shuffled around the city?
Yo, what?
Why is that guy
Sir?
getting M4 out?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Could you repeat your question once more, please?
So if we do not know the badge number because these officers were not giving it to us and we do not know the identification of these officers, how do we know that these officers were in fact punished if you're not able to give us their names or anything, and how do we know that they simply weren't just put right back on the job without any punishment?
So, as I said again, not issuing any badge number is in fact a breach of policy. Normally, per procedure, officers are required to give you their last name and their badge number unless they are on SWAT deployment. In that case, they need to give you their badge number. Whether or not an officer is punished will be disclosed. However, the sort of punishment will not be disclosed to the public, as that is confidential information.
Are these officers currently still on duty after this case?
As this time, that is an part of the investigation, so I cannot comment on that.
Oh,
What's
come
the
on.
estimated time of completion on said investigation? When
Could you
can we
please
expect? What is the estimated time of completion of said investigation? When will we be able to know the exact? When are you guys going to be issuing punishments and finalizing an investigation? I know that you're not going to know exactly, but can we have a rough roundabout time of when we can expect to hear exactly what happened?
Yeah, again, pertaining investigations, we cannot give any more information. However, pertaining those, whenever we receive a complaint, we work as fast as possible to solve them.
Going forward, with SWAT raids and such, can we know in the future that these officers will not have masks on themselves, or will they still be masked in unmarked police vehicles with assault rifles?
Whenever an officer is deployed on SWAT, they will be wearing a mask to conceal their identity, and they'll be still utilizing unmarked vehicles.
So how are we supposed to know if, say, I'm walking down the street, a quote-unquote SWAT vehicle comes out, again, unmarked, with people in masks, pull out assault rifles on me? How am I supposed to know this is SWAT and not just a neighborhood gang?
First of all, officers of the police department wear a badge, and those officers also are wearing a specific SWAT uniform.
Yes, but those uniforms could be stolen, right?
Same with the
What are
badge.
the chances that they're gonna get that? What are the chances that they're gonna get 4 stolen officers, uniforms, a vehicle, and the
That is
military
not
type
the
weapons that
question.
we have?
The
What are the
question is
chances,
how
though?
to
What are the chances?
identify the police.
How you identify the police? By asking them, getting their badge number, or simply by looking at the uniform?
The SWAT was supposed to go to shootouts, not scouting the
What
city.
if they
answering
do
your
not
questions.
want to give you the badge number? That is the problem.
It will be under clothing. It will be under clothing. Our SWAT uniforms are designed that.
Cough drop.
But this is exactly the problem. You tell
Yeah.
identification is the badge number.
Sir, whenever an officer is deployed on SWAT, they are wearing a badge. If they refuse to give out their badge number, that is a clear infraction. You'll need to record that, and then we can identify the officer by their voice and issue a punishment.
But clearly it's not working because the
Well,
officers did not
sir.
give their badge number and are not
Yes,
yet punished.
sir, and we are working, as I said again, that was an infraction, and whenever an infraction happens, a punishment will be issued. Yet again, I cannot comment on how long it's going to take, what punishment is going to be offered, issued, etc., etc.
So what is the default punishment for not providing badge number?
Yet again, that is confidential information.
The default?
Oh,
Why does that have to be confidential? Just tell it was
full of
fake.
shit.
Because
Nothing.
per department standards and procedures, any disciplinary actions are confidential.
And as well, Hazel, if you don't mind me adding to that as well, we we like to work on precedent set, okay? We don't like to have exactly defaults, It's not like if officer does A, he's going to get A punishment. Each thing and each case is dealt with by a case-by-case basis.
So how do we know what happened in the past? And then how do we know to compare, what do we compare it to? Jay, Gay, you hearing all this crap that needs to change?
I hear it loud and clear.
Past incidents and past cases pertaining to the internal affairs group, we cannot give any information.
Yes. Next question, please.
May I please ask a quick question? So, if we are not allowed to know the name of these officers, or when the punishment is exactly happening, or know what officers were punished, how are we supposed to expect to trust you guys to actually punish these officers and not instead say, hey, we issued this punishment, but not actually do anything? How are we supposed to know that these punishments were actually given out and instead not just lied to the public?
Well, you'll be receiving an email once the punishment is issued, and I can assure you that there is no corruption within the department pertaining those things, as we are overseen by the federal government.
I think I speak on behalf of myself. I'm both. I take both sides to a certain extent, being the warden of DOC and also being an event organizer. I think that the events have proven to be pretty safe. I don't think we've had any huge things. So I think basically the most important thing would be transparency and communication, and a lot of people not getting harassed unless something happens. And I think we've been holding pretty good. I know that a lot of the organization within the city have decided that there's nothing that will go on illegal at these events because it's something that builds the community. And I think without community, we fail. And that's just kind of my personal opinion on the whole thing, that if we could open lines of communication, just as we do with other organizations to ensure that our events are going to be safe, as long as we can have your cooperation as well, I think that we'll be flawless. I think that's the most important thing. I think a lot of people feel that some information is being hidden, so they feel that there's no transparency, so it's starting to offend them to a certain extent. Does that make sense?
It does. Gage, I'd like to ask you a question, like as a rebuttal. So you mentioned there that you have the events that the police, although they may not turn up, they are considered safe. I'd like to give you 3 examples of the most recent 3 events that I've been a part of. The first one I actually was not personally part of, I was just part of the aftermath, where one of my SWAT officers was threatened. He was told, if you don't leave now, my gang is going to kill you. The second event in question, one of my detectives was killed. And the third event, which occurred yesterday, day before, I was stabbed. These were events not hosted by the police department. However, police department had to respond due to the fact that a matter of the fact that these incidents were occurring. Again, I'd just like to reiterate, in case you did not hear me, one of my SWAT officers was told if he doesn't leave, his gang was going to come and kill him. The second one, I lost one of my really heavily involved detectives. The third one, I was stabbed. If you want, I can take my shirt off and show you my stab wound. Again, 3 events not organized by the police. We were responding and doing our job. So
by that statement, do you believe the police should organize all events?
No, I'm asking Gage. Gage, you mentioned that the events are safe. Can you?
Yeah, so here's my thing. You have not had there has not been a huge police presence or involvement at events prior than the most recent ones. All the events have been completely safe. I think that it is a way for the community to gather, and it's not amongst other organizations. I think that there is kind of a head-butting between the community and PD, and I think that's what's kind of raised a lot of it. I think a lot of people are being put in some weird investigations that I don't agree with. I have friends, not including myself, that have been called corrupt because I do believe that there is one thing in the city that you can't buy, and that's respect. So I treat everybody like a human, as I expect to be treated myself. And I think that it's caused this kind of tear between. So I think the presence of you guys kind of uproars the community because they believe that they've been holding this event successfully and safely for a long time without your presence. Does that make sense?
If you're asking myself, it does make sense, okay? And I will be honest, the fact that our guys were never responding to these events was due to the fact that we hadn't got the amount of police numbers that we do now, okay? We weren't as strong as a department as we are now, as well as that our recent command and staff officers that we had were not as strong nor as present in the community as they are now. You see, myself and Assistant Chief Trustin were only recently in office, which you know about. We've spoke to many of you guys in this room about the fact that we have a lot of plans for community relations. The fact that we are bringing in a brand new division to the department, which we are currently doing with now with Detective Hazel here, the public relations divisions, where we can have these type of meets, these type of discussions, try and get something moving for the future with the city where we can all work as a team. That was not something that was present in the past, and that's why you never saw police presence at these events. It's because we never had an organization to actually go ahead and fulfill that request. Now, I understand it may not be a request from the citizens, but it's been a request from our lads because we're not going there to catch you guys out. We're going there just to make sure that you guys are safe. If you see our lads putting up barricades, I read an article yesterday where the article stated that we put up barricades to stop people coming near us. The real reason we put up barricades was to make sure that you guys didn't get hit by cars when you're trying to cross the road.
I think the big thing is we just want to get thrown a bone. Like, since I obviously do play both sides, I think that it's having a little trust within the citizens here, having a little faith that we can do it. I can understand having a presence outside of the event where you can your reaction time would be greatly increased. But as far as being inside it, I can understand if you want to attend in kind of a regular situation. I myself, as DOC, I've never had my life threatened there. I've never been punched. I've never had been stabbed. Anything of that sort. I think it is just a bit of the trust. People need to feel that, hey, you have faith in them in order to be, controlled during these events because they are an important and integral part of this city, and it's something that brings the community together. And I think that they just kind of feel slightly offended by that, by what I'm getting fed. And it's just kind of that side of it. It's not that, hey, we're expecting something to be fucked up, just being able to be there to respond. That's what we need you there when we need you. But if you want to attend on a regular basis, it's fine. If you're there in gear, it makes everybody feel like you have no trust and no faith in us.
I'd like to interject in that the reason why the SWAT team was deployed was because a panic alert was pushed. It doesn't matter where a panic alert is pushed. Once it is pushed, once we see them, we respond to it in great numbers.
But he's talking about the next day on the Rivals Night when there was patrol units stalking the mansion in Rivals Night.
Ma'am, you mentioned the word stalking. Like, can you elaborate?
We had individuals checking anybody that was coming in, pulling them over, checking IDs, checking, licenses, checking plates, checking every aspect of everything.
Harassment?
That's kind of, on the harassment side. And I understand a police presence is completely needed. You guys have saved my ass, and I think I've done the same for you. So it's kind of that thing. It's just without the harassment, being able to respond. We want you guys there. We want the protection if something goes wrong. We're not saying that, hey, PD should never exist. We just want to be able to have these events where we gather around. All these organizations get along so well at the park because they enjoy these events. This is something that keep us going, and we want to continue to do so. So just a little bit of trust and faith in us, and if we fuck up that aspect, us as all the citizens that attend these events, then feel free to step in because it's nobody's fault but our fucking own. But as long as we're holding ourselves true and making sure that we don't mess with other people, make sure that there's no crime there, then I don't believe that a huge precedent is completely necessary.
Then how do we proceed in relation to what happened at the protest? Because you're saying, okay, if we fuck up, that's when you guys get involved. I had a lad, again, stabbed me, and I had an individual call out that he had a bomb.
You only react. You are not proactive. You respect private property.
Yeah, that was a reactionary thing. I think that everybody was pissed. I'm not validating that in any way, shape, or form. I don't think anybody getting stabbed and shit like that is cool in any way, shape, or form. All I believe is that that was a reaction from the community based on how they felt that they were being treated during the time. I think the event where there was an undercover person there, I think there's better times to be doing investigations other than the one time that our community gets together and is able to share a laugh, a drink, and an event together and try to enjoy it.
Okay, that's fine. I feel it is.
As of time, or as of ever, ethical questions are subjective. We do not have a departmental stance on whether or not operations or procedures
Sir,
are
sir?
ethical
Yes.
or moral
can
or
you tell me
not,
where's the
so
way
I
up?
cannot comment on that.
Hazel, would you mind if I answer that?
Coral, can you take him out and then there's somebody outside that wants to come
Please,
in?
Mr. Slice, go ahead.
Let's go, brother.
Mike, I'm awake.
So
I don't know,
we
should I be
shouldn't have voted
shouting
the
or?
cop on the council.
Please, go ahead.
Appreciate it.
So, when you're talking about ethics, it's definitely something I'm very passionate about, and the fact that we do have this agreement between the LSPD, obviously it's a gentleman's agreement, it's nothing written down, that we will not come to events and we will not sort of impede the flow of the event just to serve out a warrant. Is it ethical to check the information available from a license plate? Definitely, because we are not violating anybody's privacy rights. We are all sworn officers who gave an oath to protect the city and the citizens. If this includes sitting there for an hour and checking license plates just to see if we can catch out that one guy who just committed several murders over the span of a couple of last weeks, then it's definitely a part of our job, and it's definitely something that is ethical and it is moral.
And
Hopefully
I'd
I
like to add
answered
on top of that for you, Slice. I'd like everybody in this room to remember, and this not only goes for the civilians or the medics or the DOC lads, but it goes to the officers. Driving is a privilege, okay? Driving is in no way a human right. You do not have the right to go and drive, okay? Your license plate is not private knowledge. It is public. It is in front of everybody. If you have nothing to be concerned about, you do not need to be worrying about.
Fuck that. Fuck
Okay,
that.
Driving
is a right.
May I ask a quick question?
Of course.
Yes.
So after the...
Shut the fuck up, dude in the back.
Excuse me. I really have just
I'll
one
transport
question
that guy.
for the PD.
Yeah,
So after these SWAT with the masked men hit these people and would not give out their badge numbers, will or will not these men be fired? And I just want a yes or no answer.
That is, again, part of the PD investigation.
Steve?
We cannot answer on that.
So I will take that as a no.
Leave.
Thank you very much.
What's that?
If you want
Let me show you.
So it seems like, unfortunately, the PD seems a little bit corrupt in our eyes again. Again, please, before any of this goes out, know that all of this hate and all of this stuff going on is only I see. I have friendships with most of the PD, OOC. So please do not take any of this hate, OOC. This is all just IC hate for fun, and it's all meant to be for good RP. So please don't take any of this out of context or into any of my thoughts in real life. This is, again, just all for the RP and all for fun. So do not take any of this seriously. But it seems like there is a lot of corruption seemingly in PD. Again, the people who were running over citizens and having masks on and not giving out badge numbers are not going to be punished, it seems, or at least we have no way of proving that they were punished. So we may have to go a little extreme with this. I guess we'll see. But either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you guys are excited for the interesting RP coming up. But I think it's going to be about it. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, and if you want to, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.